Well, Shep, there's Wallabies out there, there's Super Rugby players out there, but I reckon they're feeling the butterflies just as much as any other club player out there today.
Oh, they're feeling the butterflies. I'm feeling the butterflies. This whole crowd capacity here at North Sydney Oval is feeling the butterflies. Don't go anywhere. This is going to be a beauty from minute 1 to minute 80. It all comes down to this.
Hamish Angus, the supremely accomplished Warringah skipper, and number 10 has the ball in hand. He's going to get us underway in the 2018 grand final of the Intrust Super Shute Shield. University let the ball bounce and it dribbles straight into touch. Bit of an anticlimax there as we cross for the first time today to big Andrew Swain on the sideline. Swainey.
I'd say quite the opposite, Tone. Not an anticlimax at all. What about the crowd that's in here? I reckon we're almost at capacity, just shy of 20,000 here at North Sydney Oval, and conditions are perfect. There's a slight breeze just favouring the Rats.
Nice clean line-out ball.
2 offside
for big
advantage.
Dave McDouling. And Sydney University, as the University forwards get it up. Oh, Gordon goes the short side, goes himself.
Advantage's over. Let's play.
Warringah's first touch. Dave Felchier with the ball in hand. He'll put up the high hoist midfield for the Rats. Oh, well taken by Stu Dunbar for the students, but he's lost possession there. Small knock on by Sydney University. First scrum of the game for Warringah.
Well, Tone, you spoke about nerves about 1 minute and 2 seconds ago. Well, there's plenty out there for both teams, isn't there? A couple of little mistakes already for Sydney University, but you can see so much emotion. And what about how lucky we are to have someone of Nick Phipps's calibre back in his beloved yellow and blue. I bet he's dying to get out there.
66 test caps for Nick Phipps. And there's 101 test caps on the field today across the 46 players. And first scrum, it was a nice take from Stu Dunbar, but just got rocked by those big bodies in the Warringah pack. And Silosi Tangithakibau, who is a huge human also.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
A 13-kilo advantage for the Rats at scrum time. They're a big pack. That's a big shove by Uni, though. And they draw the first penalty of the match. Big statement by the University forwards, straight up out of the box.
Well, I was just thinking to myself, this first scrum is going to be very interesting indeed. For Sydney University, all season long, it's been one of the strengths of their game. Set pieces where they really like to put pressure on their opposition, and as we've seen, first one of the game, the Rats know they're in for a battle right now.
Well, Sandel, Latu and Paddy Ryan in the front row for the students. All Waratah squad members. Of course, Paddy Ryan and Tolu Latu extremely experienced. So it's going to be a great battle up front today. Warringah probably won their game last week on the back of their set piece. Great statement early from the students.
James Kane gets the students all the way to the Warringah 22. Tolu Latu with the ball in hand, the incumbent Wallaby hooker. McDouling goes high again. That's a good-looking maul for University. Gordon wants it. He's got hands on it. They go short side. Around the corner comes Harry Potter. Wilkins at first receiver. Dynamic young open side breakaway for the University club. Here's McDouling again. Pick and go for the University. They're extremely clinical when they do this. Just as I say that, they lose the ball forward. Tangithakibau gets his first touch. No advantage there, says Will Houston. Will come back for a Warringah scrum.
Well, this is exactly where Sydney University likes to go to work. They get within about 10 metres of the try line and they just let their forwards take over. That time, though, the line speed and the intensity of the Warringah defence put the pressure on to force the mistake. And really, boys, when I think about this game and how much we've seen of Sydney University over the last few weeks, where Warringah needs to be clinical in defence is within that 10 metres to their try line. They've got to be patient, but they've got to be physical. And they've got to take the battle to Sydney University. because they'll be patient and they'll just grind you down as they get closer and closer.
You're absolutely right, Shep, and the emotion of it all as well. I mean, just taking the emotion out of it, just start going through their processes. That's what they need to do, this rat side.
Set.
Another big shove from University. Sam Ward picks it up for the Rats at the back. He's on his own, pops it off the deck to Holmes, gets it to Felchier. Felchier runs it out of the 22 for Warringah. Good recovery from the scrum that was going backwards. Here's Sam Ward again. Penalty advantage now for the Rats. So a few nerves,
2 goals.
obviously in evidence early in the
goals
grand final,
offside.
fellas.
Well, there's always going to be. There's so much on the line. This young Sydney University side, a lot of these guys won Colts premierships, but a lot of these guys also in the team missed out in 2016 when they were knocked off by Northern Suburbs here, and that's got to play in your mind during the week and in the early stages of the game. No matter what kind of finals are in any sport, it's so important to get off to a good start. So both teams are going to be desperate to be the first team to post some points.
The scene's been set this week as well, Shep and Tone. It really has. The banter in the press has been 10 out of 10 all week.
3.
The build-up's been fantastic. Darren Coleman coming out and saying, bring on the Wallabies.
Luke Holmes in his final game. Scrappy ball for Warringah.
Play on. Off goal.
O'Connor does a good job. It's been scooped up by McDouling there. Well, that's a heads-up play, but he's lost it forward.
Lost forward. Over.
Tangi Thakibau now. Around the legs goes Brad Wilkin. Terrific tackle. Angus gets rid of it to Wildman. Tackled immediately. Gets it back to Angus, to Felchier, to Tyson Davis on the wing. Davis looking for space down the right edge. Holmes to Sam Thompson. Quick recycle. Back to Angus for the kick. Taken by Kane. Gets it to Clements. Clements will boof it downfield. Nobody there. Cheekham. Back to pick it up. He's got blinding speed, Asher Cheekham, but he can't get past Tim Clements, who did a great job in defence there.
Number 4, diving on the player on the ground.
But Lockie Swinton giving away the penalty. There's the first quick tap from Josh Holmes. Here's Tyson Davis. He kicks it through. Felchier herring down the outside, but the ball beats him into touch.
Well, they were very, very lucky to get away with that, Warringah. Ezra Cheekham, instead of sending this ball long, he decides to back himself, which is okay when you're not in your own 22. The defence of Sydney University swarms, and really only for the hard work of Tangi Thakibau, they managed to retain the ball there. Nervous times for the Warringah coaching staff.
Scrappy ball again at line-out time.
Offside.
Scrum advantage turns into a penalty advantage for Sydney University.
Yeah, he's got Priest there, just a little bit too eager to get up off the line. How good has this 2018 season of the Shute Shield been? And it wouldn't be possible without the outstanding support of our major sponsor, Intrust Super. Make sure you visit Rugby.com. And on that note, boys, the CEO and one of our good friends, Brendan O'Farrell, unfortunately in hospital at the moment. He's had a couple of emergency surgeries. We know you're all right, Boff, but mate, we know you're out there watching. We hope you're enjoying the coverage, and thanks so much to you and your company for everything you do for this great game.
100% sending you all our best, Boffer, as James Kane gets the students once again down into the Warringah 22. A prime attacking opportunity for this outstanding club side that haven't won a premiership in 5 years' time. Up goes O'Regan. Gets it back to Wilkin, to Gordon. Here's Tolu Latu with his first run of the day. Well stopped though by Luke Holmes. Sam Ward having words with a University player. O'Regan takes it up for the students. Wilkin gets rid of it quickly to McDouling. Great tackle by Tyson Davis though. O'Regan clears it to Swinton.
Advantage. 2 wide offside.
Another penalty advantage for Sydney University.
Timing. 2 wide offside.
Well, again, Warringah just a little bit too eager to get up off the line. And again, you'll find very common in grand finals just to want to get up, create that line speed and shut down your opposition. But you've got to be careful. There's a referee like Will Helston and the touch judges that we've got today, the assistant referees, they're not going to miss you. It's a discipline key. But a good opportunity here for Sydney University to post the first points in the grand final. And how fitting, maybe, that the man that ended up winning, leading the competition in points scored during the season could be the first person to kick points in the grand final.
Yeah, he's a real sharpshooter, James Kane, isn't he? You're right, Shep, about Warringah just being too eager. Last week in that win over Norths, it was a tight one in the end, but it was their line speed as well that really stood out for mine. Just throwing their big guys in that pack.
James Kane idolised Johnny Wilkinson as a young man, and I'm sure as you watch him kick this one, you'll see a lot of the similarities. Exactly the same routine for every single kick. Pure strike.
Well, his stats have been impressive this year, and they continue in the grand final as the Students take an early lead, 3-0 at North Sydney Oval. Well, Rats, obviously, as you alluded to, Shep, very, very keen to get up quickly with that defensive line. But there's a lot of adrenaline being dumped out there in the first 10, 15 minutes of this one.
Exactly right, mate. You've just got to weather the storm. This first 20, a lot of nervous energy. Just stay in the game, keep your head in it.
Swinton can't take it. Anybody's ball.
Advantage white, knock on goals.
Alston has spied a knock-on by University as Warringah
Still advantage white.
move into the Uni 22 now. Here's Mahi Vailanu.
Move three.
Just been so impressive for the Rats this year, Vailanu. Big Harry Rourke
Advantage over.
rolls over the top of the tackler. Here's Tangi Thaki Bow. Stopped by Potter. Holmes finds Tompkins this time.
Oh, big shot over the top.
He's solidly met by the Uni defence. Sandell. Short ball to Rourke from Luke Holmes. The steel curtain of the Students' defence is defending their 22 with everything as Priest gets tackled around the ankles. Angus gets rid of it quickly to Cheekham. Sam Thompson again for the Rats. Around the corner comes Luke Holmes. Takes the short pass from his brother Dave McDurling.
And now lost. No, 7.
Had hands on the ball.
You got to be careful, the Rats a little bit 2-1 out.
There's Vailanu again, gets it back to Angus, inside ball to Wildman. Couldn't hang on to it, Seb Wildman. Knocks it forward, Scrum University.
First one.
Well, again, Swaney, we get a really good look at just how clinical that Sydney Uni defensive line is. They work together as a group, but it's also their lineup and their physicality to win the tackle contest. It seems like every time they go into it, they want to make sure it's a dominant tackle and they're not allowing Warringah any of those cheap meters.
Yeah, absolutely, Shep. The other great thing about their defensive line is the spacing. I know we talk a lot about it on this coverage, but their spacing is perfect. They just don't have a chink in their armour at the moment.
Where that comes from is trust in the men around you. Trust the guy inside is going to cover your inside shoulder, and trust the guys outside to move with you in the drift and not leave you on your own. Robert Taylor, the Sydney University coach, has done such a great job, and I think that also comes back to the amount of rugby that these guys have played together over the last few years through Colts and through their early careers in grade.
And when you're attacking one out, like Warringah were in that case, it really makes it hard to get in behind.
Set.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think on that point, that's one thing where Warringah really needs to test Sydney University, and that's with their kicking game. Changing it up, forcing them to turn around. That's what takes the sting out of a good, hard line defence. They're getting up in your face, tactically kick, turn them around, make sure the ball hits the deck, don't kick it down anyone's throat. And all of a sudden, you'll notice that they'll get sick of turning around and chasing back for the ball. Might just buy you that little bit of extra time later in the day.
Set.
There's a ding-dong battle going on this side between O'Connor and Ryan as the Students continue with their impressive set-piece ability. Dunbar with the kick ahead. Oh, he's picked it up, Stewie Dunbar. Lost it, though, in the tackle.
Knock on advantage.
Back it comes for the Rats. Angus forced to hold on to it. Smashed to the ground by Will McDonald. Sam Ward with the ball in hand for the Rats. Tackled immediately by Wilkin. Pick and go from Luke Holmes. Vailanu. Short ball to Cheekham. Out it comes to Seb Wildman on the left edge.
They did well to stay in.
Vailanu on the burst. Oh, belted backwards in the tackle by Will McDonald. That's terrific defence from the University inside centre. O'Connor gets rid of it. They need to get it wide. Tangi Thakibau hangs onto it, though, the big Samoan international. Tolu Latu over the top. He's beaten by the ruck. Here's Tompkins. Gets it back to Hamish Angus. Angus darting and weaving. Crawls forward on his knees. Harry Rourke taken low by Tolu Latu. Thakibau gets rid of it to Seb Wildman. Oh, Wildman through the hole. It's a great run by Seb Wildman. Hands off to Josh Holmes. Well, McDonald was coming up out of the line, created that hole. Vailanu with the kick. Being spilled, though, by Guy Porter, and he's bundled into touch by Esra Cheekham.
We're going to take a quick break, though. It's 3-0 on the Charter Hall Direct scoreboard.
You are on it. I'm feeling like you're winning that because you're toppling straight over it, as opposed to being on your feet. I'm telling you, it's not the picture I'm seeing. You stay on your feet. You know the picture too.
Warringah line out. Right on the 5-metre line as Sam Thompson goes high. Vailanu has the ball. He's on the deck now, though. And Paddy Ryan grabbed him, ball and all, as soon as that ball was called and forced the turnover. Big play by Ryan.
Yeah, Vailanu just isolated himself slightly, then got in front of his support players. Unfortunately, them broke away and fractured them all. And Paddy Ryan did a good job of wrapping him up.
Yeah, Swaney, it looked like a really, like almost that Sydney University knew what was coming there. They didn't engage. And during that time, Warringah got all out of shape, lost the complete structure of their rolling maul. And as I said, Vailanu just ended up being isolated.
That break from Seb Wildman before Shep, as we were talking about, Warringah just going one out. They just started to shift the pass that one further, and it created that little gap for the inside runner.
Fine. Set.
Another big scrum by University. They've got the penalty advantage. Jake Gordon hands off to Stewie Dunbar. A little chip over the top by Dunbar. Anybody's ball's been scooped up by Gordon. He offloads to Dunbar. Dunbar's still going. Gets it back to Harry Potter. Sam Ward with the tackle. University's done very, very well.
Thanks, one. Well weighted.
Paddy Ryan offloads to Kane. That one was forward, though, to Guy Porter. And Harry Potter, or Tim Clements, I beg your pardon, will not score the first try, despite the entreaties of the University faithful up in the stands of a packed North Sydney Oval.
Well, it was on. They were lining up out to the left. It's this pass, though, from Paddy Ryan that gets pinged, and I think that has drifted a little bit further forward than it probably looked like from this angle. It's a shame. I think it was Brad Wilkin who threw the ball at the back, or maybe Stewie Dunbar, but he just needed to take a few steps forward and get in front of Paddy Ryan there and let him run onto that ball.
Yeah.
We might duck away again for another quick break. 3-0 in the grand final here at North Sydney Oval on the Charter Hall Direct scoreboard.
Worrying signs for the Warringah fans and coaching staff as Hamish Angus receives attention for what looks like a finger or a hand injury.
He doesn't look happy there, Tone. He's getting a lot of attention to that right hand by the looks of things.
He does not, but by gee, they've got quality on the bench, Warringah, in terms of replacement for him with Miles Dorian, who will also be playing his last game for Warringah today.
Mark Gerard, his final game of professional rugby, 107 Super Rugby caps, 24 test matches, also playing his final game of rugby today.
Yep. Dave Felchie is going to hang him up after today as well. Thailos and Tangi Thaki Bao. There's a lot of guys that would like to go out with a win.
Darren Coleman on Facebook during the week, calling it the running of the old Bulls today. And can they go out winners? Tremendous atmosphere here at North Sydney Oval. I'd say it's almost at capacity now. The Hillbillies have come in force. One of the best travelling clubs in the Entrust Super Shute Shield. And of course, plenty of variety in winners from the lower grades as well in terms of clubs. So what a great occasion this is. Hamish Angus has taken his spot. He's certainly favouring that hand though.
He's going to be forced into action here. Another big scrum for the Rats.
Steady!
Oh, you can immediately see at engagement how much weight coming from Sydney University.
Too much from your side. From your side.
There you go, Will Howson already warning about them.
One time scrum again.
If you're new to the game in a scrum, until the ball comes in, you're not allowed to push against your opposition. You're allowed to hold the weight, but you can't start to push against the opposition. That's what Will Houston will be watching for in this scrum here.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
He's already put Matt Sandell, the University loosehead prop, on notice.
Well, they moved again there. Lucky to get away with it, Uni.
Back it comes for the Rats. Davis offloads to Tangi Thaki Bao. Still going the big man, finally taken low by champion De Crepney. Priest on the burst. The big Kiwi was our man of the match last week. University competing ferociously at the breakdown. Tompkin gets there, accidentally kicks the ball forward though, but it's going to come back on the Rats side.
Well, there's a lot of Rats in that breakdown. Not many people still on their feet.
Angus offloads to Tyson Davis, to Felchie now. McDonald misses the tackle. Porter picks him up. Here comes Vailanu on the burst.
Solid contact.
Tackle immediately by Sandell and one other. Here's Priest again. He hands off to big Sammy Ward. Angus to Tangi Thaki Bao. He's dropped it cold, big Solosi. Unusual for him. I don't recall seeing him drop a ball like that in a long time.
No, he doesn't. And I think Swaney, getting back to that point again, the line speed rapid for Sydney University on that wide edge. Everyone pushing up, and that's when you need to roll the ball in behind. If you think you're going to be able to keep doing the same play, running out the back and spreading it wide there without them doing it, you're dreaming. You've got to roll it in behind and turn them around. You're going to sneak off once again. 3-0 on the Charter Hall Direct scoreboard.
As we come back, we see Simon Fordham in the picture. Simon ran our broadcast crew
for three years. The glue that held us together,
for the first 3 years that we did this.
He's a great man. Now the director of rugby at Channel 9.
Tell you what, the Uni supporters are getting vocal now. Of course, we heard from the Rat supporters up on the Hillbilly Hill, up in the McCartney stand here at North Sydney Oval. The Uni fans getting very vocal as their reserves warm up in the in-goal.
Set!
And a scrum from Warringah, back it comes though. Does it, O'Regan keeping it in. Now Jake Gordon's told to use it, fires it out to Dunbar. McDonald with the cut ball to Tim Clements. He's well tackled, tried to get it back, the young fullback. Been scooped up by Will McDonald. Seb Wildman's all over him though. Gordon goes short side. Hands off to Guy Porter. The quick recycle. Dunbar finds Paddy Ryan in midfield. Runs straight into Rory O'Connor. Jake Gordon looking for space. Inside ball to McDonald. University finding a bit of rhythm now. Champion to Grepney. Not a great pass, but it's been picked up by Sandell. Back it comes to Will McDonald. Such a dynamic year he's had. He's got a great future in front of him, the young university inside centre. Pick and go from Champion to Crepney for Uni. That's the Warringah 22 right there. Gordon finds Tolu Latu, gets it back to Lockie Swinton. Going through the phases now, University. Dunbar with the ball, been intercepted by Felshire though. Josh Holmes doing his best to get the ball out of there, but University very active at the breakdown.
Knock on white, knock on gold first.
Well, the first knock on by Warringah. University really expending some energy at the breakdown, boys.
Well, it'll be interesting to see that ruck again. For mine, it looked like the Sydney University players came in from the side there, from an offside position. It was on for all money out here. Some smart work from Felshire to sneak into the passing lane and get the offload, but it's the breakdown after he gets tackled that I'm interested in. Well done from James Kane to lock him down. Well, there's the ball.
Tolu Latu has taken 3 players with him there in the clean out.
Oh, he's done very well. Yeah, it definitely wasn't a ruck. That's loose ball, fair game.
Making an absolute mess of the breakdown though, both sides. There's bodies everywhere.
Yep. Let's get this right. When you're ready.
Big moment in this grand final. First attacking scrum for Uni in the Warringah 22.
Bind.
And as I look at the backs, Porter, Clements and Potter all over in the 15-metre channel. Very, very wide. Porter moving back towards them now.
O'Regan off the back to Gordon. Inside ball to James Kane. Gordon has a look at the blind side, decides against it. Champion to Crepney at first receiver. For the students, here's Lockie Swinton. Well tackled by Sam Ward. Vailanu doing his best. Couldn't get the turnover though. There's Wilkins. As they creep ever closer, University. Swinton with the ball now. About 3 metres out. Jack Tompkins with the tackle. Tompkins needs to get out of there. Brad Wilkin again, only about a metre out, University.
Play over it.
They love to score these tries. Just grinding away and grinding away until finally someone plunges over. Latu pushed back in the tackle though. Wilkins
Play that one, Quinny.
with the pick and drive. Now Swinton. That's Sandell. Warringah desperately trying to get hands on it. McDueling. Well tackled by Tompkins. Getting a bit of momentum, and Jake Gordon will go over for the first 5-pointer of the grand final in 2018. The Waratah halfback, like a snake, he struck. He saw a bit of daylight and plunged it over. Cam Shepherd.
Well, you said it in live play, Tony, but that's what they love to do. They get in this area of the field and they just try to grind you down. The forwards work hard, they drive, and they try and beat you until you have to keep committing around the ruck. All of a sudden, a little bit of space opens up, and Jake Gordon under the black dot. He's got the first one in the grand final, and it's an important one for Sydney University in the scheme of things. 2 points here from right in front will stretch them out into double figures. And that's an impressive bit of play we've seen them done. How many times in 2018?
Very, very clinical. And if Kane puts this one over a 10-0 lead after 25 minutes is a pretty good result in a grand final game. No mistake from Kane, 10-0, students on top in the grand final.
Well, Jake Gordon orchestrated that try. It went about 10 or 15 phases, but the whole time he was barking orders and just waiting for his moment. He's a try-scoring scrum half, 11 tries for the Waratahs in his 29 games for them. He gets one in the big one. 10-0, Uni lead.
Angus gets us underway. High and short is the restart. Oh, well taken by McDueling, the veteran second rower. He's played with about at least three Super Rugby clubs that I know of, possibly 4. Here's O'Regan, charges straight into Sam Thompson. Back to the right they come. Dunbar to McDonald. Will McDonald beats Tompkin, doesn't beat Rourke. Pick and go from McDewley. Dunbar gets it wide to big Matt Sandell, the boy from Mudgee. He's wrapped up well by Sam Thompson, though. Back it comes to Kane for the kick. Straight down the throat of Hamish Angus, though.
7.
Angus with the up and under. Taken cleanly by Jake Gordon, showing his class. Good tackle, though, by Angus around the ankles. Clements comes up to play scrum half. Dunbar with the kick for University. All taken by Seb Wildman. Wildman, big right foot step, still going. Oh, heavy contact there. Porter bounces up again.
Well left 2.
Hope said Wildman's all right. Vailanu stopped at the ruck. Again, no way through there. Angus to Felchier. Dave Felchier. Wilkin with the tackle. Oh, University looking very, very sharp. Very well organised. No knock on Josh Holmes with a little kick over the top. Taken by Clements. Clements will hoof it downfield. Taken by Tyson Davis. Davis off the right foot. Looking for a way. Short ball to Luke Holmes. He's on his own. Dunbar with the tackle. McDewling in there. Trying to get hands on. Couldn't do it. Angus finds Wildman. That's about 1.5 meters forward from Seb Wildman, unfortunately for the Rats. Look a bit rattled, Warringah, don't they?
Well, line speed up on the edges is fantastic from Sydney University. You'll see it again here in the play. There, bang, Porter's up. And that's what he's trying to cut down. He's trying to cut down them getting into that wide channel. And that's really where Warringah needs to start looking at the tactical kick. Don't need to roll it out 5 metres from the University line. Just get it over the top into space and roll it out near the 22. Special thanks, of course, to our official broadcast partner, Fujitsu, for their amazing support in 2018. Fujitsu, the Shute Shield's favourite air.
I'll tell you who the most vocal man is out on the field at the moment, Paddy Ryan. When they were awarded that scrum, he was bum tapping everyone.
Crouch. Bind. Sets. Far side.
Well, Swaney, there's an amazing thing about rugby that you can roll into a ground basically anywhere in Australia or the world, and without looking at the scoreboard, you can generally tell who's ahead by who's more vocal and who's gone quiet. I agree. A lot of guys from Warringah at the moment standing with their hands on their hips, very quiet, not a lot of communication going on at all. You look on the other side of the field, and every single player from Sydney University seems to be in discussion, talking about the game, talking about an opportunity. It's a positive mindset.
Gold.
Referee Houston loses patience.
Pre-engaged.
Gives a free kick.
2 and 3 pre-engaged.
To Warringah. Vailanu with the quick tap. Doesn't want to run away from his support. Wilkin. Brad Wilkin hard on the ball. And he gets the penalty. Oh, that's a huge error from Warringah.
They were just half a yard off the pace then. Vailanu took the tap, went on his own, and Wilkin was all over it.
Well, if that doesn't just sum up our point, I don't know what does. How this communication could have been to be the best decision. Quick tap to run off on your own on the halfway line.
And normally Tom Priest, he's the man to make the clean out there. He just missed the clean out. It was a great body position Brad Wilkin got himself in. Hard over the ball. And yeah, dramas for Rats at the moment. They've got to start talking, Shet.
Well, that man in picture needs to be the man to lead it. Sam Ward.
Use the line.
He needs to get vocal. Keep the boys focused in this game at the moment. They seem to be losing that battle in the top 2 inches.
Well, if I'm a Rats fan, I'm a little bit worried, but I'm not too worried at the moment. They've made a habit of coming back in the second half and getting the job done. They're a supremely confident
Sam, scrum on line out.
team
Scrum on
as
line out.
the mistake comes from Latu at line-out time.
Call.
Well, Tone, it's a really good point. Out of all the teams that have been tested in 2018, it's been the Rats. They've been in a lot of hard battles, and they've managed to come out in front a lot. If there's one concern for Sydney University and their fans, I think it's the fact that they've lost the hard games to the big teams during the year, and especially in the last few weeks, they really haven't had too many hard games.
Can do.
Yeah, you look at last week, beating Manly by 40-odd. They certainly strolled into the grand final. Warringah, on the other hand,
Crouch.
a big battle against Northern Suburbs.
Fine.
And just got it done at the death.
Set.
Yes, Rats were pushed all game by North last week. Another big shove from Uni, though. Sam Ward does well to pick it up. Hands off to Josh Holmes. Holmes breaks away. It's about a 30-metre run from Josh Holmes. Just ankle top. He hands off to Ezra Cheekam. So the genius of Josh Holmes saving the day for the Rats as they look to get it wide now. And it comes to Felcher, accelerates into the gap. Dave Felcher, he might get himself all the way. He does. And he'll score the first try for the defending premiers. Wow, that was brilliant. Josh Holmes, you can take a pat on the back for that one. Dave Felcher showing his speed on the far side.
Yeah, you said it, Tone. Brilliant work from Holmes to get in behind on the left-hand side. It was really smart play. He knew he didn't have any support, so he just decides to back himself here. And it's great. He just goes, he takes the space. And what he manages to do in this case is get the ball away and keep it alive. Cheekam does well, and then they move the ball to the right edge. Too big of an overlap for Sydney University to get up and try and shut it down. Felcher slices through. He beats the last defender, and that's a big try. He's done it in the grand final. He did it last year. He's done it again. The Rats are back in at 10-5, Charter Hall Direct scoreboard.
Well, a super try from Warringah has brought the Premiers right back into it. Important conversion for Angus. He's right in front. A huge crowd of Warringah supporters directly behind him there on the hill. Hillbilly Hill, we'll call it today. No problem with the conversion. It's a three-point game. University 10, the Rats 7.
Well, you can't beat raw pace. And there was great hands from Warringah. Porter just got found out on the outside there. Felcher with a great step. His 7th try in 2018. Breakneck speed from Dave Felcher. And aren't the Hillbillies loving it?
James Kane with the restart. Sam Thompson drops it. Behind him, though, it's scooped up by Harry Rourke. Places it back for his halfback. Here's Sam Ward. Well met by O'Regan and Dunbar. And Angus with the kick. Taken by Clements. He goes to the left. He's got Kane on his left. Oh, gets it back inside to Brad Wilkin. Josh Holmes with the tackle. Into the 22 come the University students. Oh, Lockie Swinton, heavy contact with Priest. Tom Priest was stunned in that one. He's still on the deck. Inside ball from Dunbar. Gordon finds champion to Crepney. Working hard to get rid of Seb Wildman. Wildman manages to stop him and get him to the deck. Here's Paddy Ryan now for University. Tolu Latu. Still going Latu. Great leg drive from the Wallaby hooker. Only about 3 metres out now, University. Warringah trying to make that breakdown as scrappy as they can. Champions at Crepney is claiming the try. Referee Houston doesn't agree.
Well, as 6 moves the ball forward, loses it, then puts against the post. Scrum.
Well, there you go. No one was closer to that one than Will Houston. He had a great view, but cast your mind back to why Sydney University's down here. It was a poor kick from Hamish Angus. If you're going to put up a contestable kick, you've got to make sure you've got a chase that's going to be there as it comes to the ground. As such, Sydney University decides to capitalise. Again, the speed of ball, absolutely fantastic. This little battle with De Crepmy and Wildman was great. And they are looking very, very dangerous indeed, Swaney, every time they get down in the 22.
Well, just the variety in their attack. Watch this pass here from Gordon. It's a 20-metre pass, face ball across 5 defenders to hit Tolu Latu and get another couple of metres, and then they keep it tight. This is what Sydney Uni will do to you. I'll kill you with variety, and Brad Wilkin is coming from the field now. Looks like Jack Sharrett is replacing him. A big 36 minutes from Brad Wilkin, that's for sure.
Well, let's hope it's not an injury for Brad Wilkins. He's had a really tough few years, 2 ACL reconstructions. He's worked so hard to get himself back into form with not only Sydney Uni but the Waratahs as well. He seems to be okay, maybe just a bad cork.
Well, he's an outstanding player. Sherritt moves into the second row. Lockie Swinton packing down on this side of the scrum for Uni.
I'm not seeing stability from you. Okay. Thank you. I know. It's not stable now, Brooks. We had a free kick before.
Well, boys, it's been a pretty awesome 37 minutes. I feel like we can finally take a bit of a breather.
There's absolutely nothing in this, Shep. So tight.
Probably the most important scrum of the game so far for the Rats, so they need to be good here. The shove is going to come, and it's going to come hard from Uni.
Oh, look at that Uni. Tight 5, they're very low. Ryan's gone down. Oh, but University get the penalty. Oh, the quick tap from University. And the try has been given. I don't even know who scored that. Jake Gordon with his second. Oh, the quick tap. Nobody was looking at Jake Gordon. Everybody was a little nonplussed about referee Houston's penalty at scrum time. And he's just tapped and gone.
Well, here it is. Bang. He's going to take the ball off Sam Ward there. Sam Ward should never have given him that ball. My only concern with that one is I think in the law book, and Swaney, you might be able to help me with this, does he have to take that tap at the back of the scrum? Regardless, it doesn't matter anymore, though, because that's another 5 points. And considering the position, you'd have to say 7. A huge win for Sydney University right on the stroke at half-time.
Yeah, well, Will Houston was right on the spot. So if he wasn't on the mark, he could have pulled him back. So that is 7 points in the book. 2 tries to Jake Gordon. So dangerous.
Well, he made absolutely sure he took that quick tap right in front of Will Houston.
Yeah, before he knew it, it was over the line. Lovely shot of this conversion on the far end of North Sydney Oval. No mistake from James Kane.
So right in the shadows of half-time, University extends their lead to 10 again.
And boys, Jake Gordon, how good is he? I make no secret of how much I love this guy. I can't wait to see him with the Wallaby 9 on his back, the gold jersey. He's a freak, great player, great speed. Star of the future.
Angus's restart well taken by Swinton as he was going backwards. Oh, Dunbar's completely fooled him. Here's Gordon breaking away again. He's got a runner on his left. Hands off to Tim Clements. As Clements got the speed to go all the way. Oh, it's dragged down in a magnificent cover tackle by Sam Ward. How did Sam Ward get across there to stop Tim Clements? Here come the students again, though. Not a great ball. It's been picked up by Paddy Ryan. Jack Tompkins takes him high. Priest takes him low. Tolu Latu with the pick and drive. Here's McDueling with his hands on the pill now. Well, the students would love to score another 5-pointer before they leave the field. Paddy Ryan feeds the ball back. Champion to Crepney with the pick and go. Latu again. McDueling this time. Champion to Crepney. Again, O'Connor working hard for the turnover. They've done it too. O'Connor with the turnover. Huge play by Rory O'Connor. Josh Holmes bangs it downfield. Hasn't gone out though.
And I can't believe he hasn't put it out.
James Kane with the ball in hand now. He'll aim up towards the left side. Little kick down into the corner. And O'Connor will just gratefully, I think, step into touch with the ball in hand. So at the end of the first 40 in the grand final, Sydney University with a 10-point lead over the defending premiers Warringah, 17-7. In the field, and we'll find out what the coaches had to say in the sheds in a little while from our team leader, Ellie Chapman. James Kane on screen there, having a solid game, as always. Sydney University club. Here's big Sam Ward. He really does need to rally the troops if the Rats are going to repeat their success from last year.
Well, tactically, they just need to be a little bit better toned. They've got to kick the ball better and really play for territory. A couple of nothing kicks from Warringah in the first half, especially the contestable ones. If you're going to put it up in the air, make sure you get a strong chase, but they've got 40 minutes to sort it out.
Well, Kane's restart just beats Josh Holmes. The bounce beat him. It landed between him and Tompkins, and Josh was not quick enough to prevent that from going out.
Well, that is not the way Darren Coleman would have wanted to start the second half. Absolutely no communication from the Warringah Rats. You cannot let that bounce under pressure immediately.
Mahe Vailanu with the line-out throw. Looks like he's replaced Luke Holmes in the hooker position for Warringah as Harry Rourke ends up with the ball.
Hey.
Well, Tolu Latlo trying to do a Jake Gordon early in the second half there, but he's called back by Will Houston.
Well, hopefully we can get another look at that kickoff, but it absolutely amazes me, and that's just not switching on. No communication. It was a deep kickoff, and you just can't let that bounce. You've got to start the second half, or any half, in a positive manner. And for no one to put a name on that ball, take it on the full and charge it back towards Sydney University.
Update from injury perspective, boys. Luke Holmes, he's finished his career. Torn groin, unfortunately, for Luke.
That's a shame. We wish him all the best. The legend, Luke Holmes. He is this Warringah Rugby Club. Another penalty coming for University. They want 5 points, though. They'd rather have 7. Stewie Dunbar. Well, Harry Potter, I beg your pardon. Harry Potter crashes over for the students' third. And right out of the box, Sydney University continue.
Well, it was all a little bit too easy. Really solid scrum again. You want to get that left-hand side up, which they do. Gordon just takes a couple of steps to commit the back row of West Harbour, and then a gaping hole for Potter to dive through. That's what Sydney University wanted to do. 22-7 on the Charter Hall Race scoreboard.
Well, Warringah Rats with it all to do in the next 38 or so minutes as James Kane lines up for the conversion attempt. The wind certainly has picked up since we first kicked off. Looks like it's blowing around about 8 to 10 knots. From right to left across your screens. And a bad looking strike. No problem there. 24-7. University in the lead over Warringah.
Well, Warringah, they really just need an injection of energy from somewhere. Harry Potter certainly provided that for Uni. It's the first 5 minutes of the second half. We always talk about it, those championship minutes. Tyson Davis slipping off the tackle. Potter straight through for the try.
Small knock on by Warringah. Scrum advantage then for Sydney University as Latu takes it up. There's the kick from Gordon. Hamish Angus is the only one back there. Harry Potter streaming down the right side. But the ball will go out into touch once again right on the 5 metre line. So 60 seconds later, Warringah find themselves back defending their line.
Unbelievable. Jake Gordon is on fire, absolutely controlling this game.
Looks like Rory McKenzie out there for the Rats also. Well, that's a shambles, the line-out throw. And that's a balk. So the students will get a free kick.
Well, this is what can happen. Mai Vailano, he has played a bit of hooker for the Rats this season. But when you lose someone like Luke Holmes, who's so good at line-out time, one of the best throwers in the competition, it just changes everything up. That was a short line-out as well, Swaney. It didn't look like a normal setup for them that close to the line.
Yeah, absolutely. This is certainly, the wheels are starting to wobble for Warringah here. It's 24-7 on the Charter Hall Direct scoreboard. Uni lead.
Back. Well, adding a spark, I don't think it'll be far off for us to see Emmanuel Meafou, one of Will Davies' favourite players in the competition. He is an absolute man-mountain. And he has really been the juggernaut and the man that seems to add a spark every time they're in this position, Swaney.
Yeah, absolutely. You talk about spark on that Warringah bench. There's plenty of it too. Meafou's just one of them. Dorian, Harry Jones, and Mark Gerard. McLean Jones as well, as Baxter King comes onto the field for Harry Rourke. Looks like his day's over. So they really need something.
Well, Swaney, the key man there for me that you just mentioned, Harry Jones, man of the match in the grand final last year, 2 incredible tries. It's now or never for the Rats. They really need to start injecting some of these players in the game and see if they can just re-energise the rest of the team.
Because you know that spark's coming from the Uni bench as well, that's for sure. And Uni, they've got the foot on the throat at the moment. That kick for touch from Jake Gordon was one of the best we've seen this year.
Crouch. Bind. Set.
Oh, inexorably, University scrum creeps forward, holding that ball in at the back.
2 gold up, scrum pack, can't go forward. 2 golds up first,
Instead
can't
of
go
the-
forward, scrum pack.
Instead of the penalty, though, we'll have a reset.
Just a quick updates from the sheds. Rob Taylor wanted to use the breeze in the second half, and he recognised that there's lots of holes around the ruck and to exploit those areas, and Potter's tried showed this. Darren Coleman wants to win every 50-50 battle. It's a genuine contest, and he knows that they're a second half team and they're still in this.
Thanks, Ellie Chapman. Well, they are indeed a second half team. They have been all year, the Warringah Rats, but I don't think they've ever been under the pump as badly as they are right now.
Set.
Once again, University surging forward. Oh, the penalty try is given by referee Will Houston. Well, the ultimate indignity for the Warringah forwards. And University extend their lead by 7.
Oh, that was just pressure, pressure, pressure. Forcing Warringah into a situation they didn't want to be in. You can see the shove. And as Warringah pulls it out to the right, not much they can do.
(31-7). That's a big, big lead in the grand final, boys.
Yeah, they're just turning the screws, this Uni side, aren't they?
Couple of legends leaving the field right in front of you as well, Swaney.
Yeah, Paddy Ryan coming off to a big ovation. Matt Sandell also. And Harry Rourke makes his way back to the bench.
Champion de Crepney with an athletic kickoff reception. Here comes to Dunbar, big Chris Talakai out there on his right-hand side. Stewie Dunbar weaving his way through the Rats' defence. What a terrific run from the University 5'8".
They're lining out to the left.
McDonald finds Sherritt. We scored for him last week. Jack Sherritt. O'Regan picks it up and goes himself. Oh, they floated out over the top to Harry Potter, but that one was forward from Dunbar.
Yeah, that ball in that first phase needed to come wide. Swaney right in front of you. It looked like they had about 8 on 3, Sydney University.
Yeah, huge numbers. You can see the breeze just picked that one up from Dunbar and blew it forward. It's pretty strong now, this breeze, but yeah, the Warringah side really just need to consolidate now, get a bit of territory somehow, any which way they can, and get up that Sydney University end of the field. Try and turn this around, claw some of this margin back. This is a huge margin with half an hour to play.
Well, you've got to start again and just stick to your structure. Again, as I mentioned earlier in the day, tactically the kicking game of Warringah just hasn't been up to scratch today. When you're up against such ferocious defence like Sydney University has, got to make sure you kick the ball well into space and keep turning them around. The issue for Warringah on top of that, though, is they've been starved of possession for most of the game. So it's been hard to take control in that aspect.
Oh, what about the talent coming off the bench for Sydney University? Harry Johnson-Holmes and Chris Talakai, and they popped the Warringah front row. Out it comes along the back line now. Here's Guy Porter, dragged down by Wildman just inside the 22. Anybody's ball.
What about the scrum? That is one of the greatest scrums you've ever seen. Absolutely dismantled Warringah here. That is a well-oiled thrashing machine from Sydney University.
I don't think Rory O'Connor's ever been in that position. He was about a metre in the air, looking down at his bootlaces.
I've certainly never seen it. He was picked up and driven back. Not only just driven off the ball, picked up.
We're going, play on.
Jake Gordon just getting some attention on this far side, of this near side of the field, rather. And Will Houston's called for play on. So, yeah, that is a psychological blow if I've ever seen one. Manny Mearfow's now coming onto the field. This could be the spark that they need. You'll see him come into, there he is, the human eclipse. Just blocked out the sun as he ran past Jake Gordon.
He's replacing Jack Tompkins. Tompkins once again giving sterling service for his club on the track. Well, I reckon we'll probably be seeing Phipps and Strang pretty soon. That one's been pinched, though, by Warringah. So a bit of good fortune falls their way. Here's Mearfow with his first touch. He's met at the 5-metre line, driven backwards a full metre. Johnson-Holmes with the tackle. Priest. We're going to get the Rats some space. Here's Mearfow again. This University defence doing a sensational job. But referee Houston's caught him for offside. There's the quick tap from Josh Holmes. Trying to make a little spark, a little bit of magic here is Holmes. Wildman with the ball now. Looked left, then decided to go right. Oh, handed off to Mearfow. Mearfow, Big Manny. He's dropped it forward.
Well, Shep, what was Josh Holmes thinking there when all they need is a bit of territory to relieve a bit of pressure?
Swaney, I wish I knew. You're running up and into an impregnable defence for majority of the game. You've got a chance to just chew off 40 metres off the boot and you take a quick tap 10 metres from your line. It's a strange decision from one of the most experienced players in the competition.
But that's also what this Sydney University side do to you. They just put you under so much mental and physical pressure that you make bad decisions and then they capitalise on mistakes. Rob Taylor's often said this year, they love playing without the ball.
Well, it's not only that as well, Swaney, good point, but also just shows the desperation that Warringah's got at the moment because they've had such little ball and territory. They're trying to create something out of nothing. But as we know, that is just the wrong time to do it.
They're impressive to watch, though, this University side, aren't they? They're just disciplined and just well-oiled.
Well, let's not forget, they missed out on the finals last year for the first time in, I'm going to say, decades. There was a big conversation in the club over the off-season and the pre-season about rectifying that. They're a very proud club, Sydney University, one of the oldest. They're showing how they're going to rectify it today.
Another huge shove. Penalty advantage for Sydney University. Will McDonald taken down by Wildman. Back it comes for Gordon. Oh, Guy Porter almost there. Here's Johnson Holmes. He's over the line.
Held up, no advantage.
Again, the scrum, Shep.
Oh, it's so dominant. It was a lovely run. Smart play as well from Clements. He was the man that carried there. He fell short, but instead of trying to reach out and score, turned it back to try and create another opportunity. Unselfish play. And Sydney University just relentless here in the grand final.
You spoke before about how they needed to turn around their fortunes of last year. They've really done it beautifully this year, haven't they? They've earned their place so well in this grand final. Minor premiers, dominant. And they've had largely the same cattle on the paddock for most of the year.
Yep, they've been very lucky with that.
Crouch.
Very few injuries compared to some of the other clubs. But a lot of young kids that hadn't played a huge amount of grade that have just grown. Grown as people, grown as players.
It's a better scrum from Warringah. Back it comes now for University. Inside ball. It's been scooped up by Josh Holmes. Holmes getting it wide to Felchier. Felchier clapping on the pace. James Kane's running him down. Felchier with the kick though. Oh, Jake Gordon just managed to get to the pill. Did it go forward?
It did.
Well, Warringah with an attacking scrum just inside the 22. This is the spark that the Rats needed.
Well, it has to be, Tone. It has to be. They need to get up. There needs to be more energy. Beautiful work from Holmes to scoot on the loose ball. He saw that he had Felchier, the man with the pace outside. Felchier does well to chew off as many metres as he did. James Kane is no slouch, and that's just a little knock on that they've been pinged for. Is that the spark? It's got to be. They've got to lift now, the Warringah Rats.
Felchier, you thought he might have just had the pace to get on the outside. Already scored one by burning Guy Porter on the outside today.
Yeah, James Kane showing good pace, rounding him up. Well, you would think, fellas, that Warringah needs to come away with some points from this visit to University's end of the field.
Oh, it starts here at scrum time. They've got to be better. Can they hold the weight?
Oh, big shove from Uni. Holmes needs to get it out of there. He does, finally. Angus to Wildman. Wildman battling forward into the 22. Good work by the outside centre. Well, Holmes passes to nobody. It's been picked up by Baxter King, though. Tolu Latu working hard at the breakdown. Beg your pardon, that was Talakai at the breakdown. Here's Rory McKenzie. He's belted backwards in the tackle. Looks a little the worse for wear. Yeah, referee Houston blows his whistle quickly. Rory McKenzie's in a bit of trouble there.
Well, they've just got to leave him. That's what they've got to do.
Well, obviously copped a bit of a head knock in there. Rory McKenzie, the young New Zealander.
Swaney, as I look down in front of the Warringah Rats bench, that looks like Harry Jones warming up, is it?
Yeah, Harry Jones warming up for sure. He provides plenty of spark. You spoke about him before, obviously man of the match in the last year's grand final. So we'll take a quick break. Sydney University on top, 31-7 on the Charter Hall Direct scoreboard.
Rory McKenzie still receiving some attention. He was featured in an article in the media during the week, boys, talking about his near fatal battle with meningitis a few years ago. Dave dueling first, and then the second University defender might have also accidentally clashed heads with McKenzie. He's on his feet now, but that'll be his afternoon. There's no way that he can continue. He's still in dreamland.
Well, let's hope he's okay. The sad thing for the Warringah Rats is he was a replacement already. Hadn't been on the field very long at all. Now you're forced to replace a replacement and deplete your bench.
But it's a quality replacement. McLean Jones coming on for the Rats in jersey number 20.
Yeah, missed majority of the season. He suffered a broken arm at training with the Waratahs. He's doing some contact, very unlucky. Missed a lot of the season. Great that they could get him back for the grand final.
A very exciting young back row. Something that this country has never been in short supply of.
Time back on. Crouch. Bind. Set.
Oh, the pressure coming again from University. The long arm of Will Houston. Will Houston goes up again as Rowan Regan reels away with the ball. The pick and go from McDouling. Back it comes for Gordon. Dunbar with the kick. It's going to be taken by Wildman. Seb Wildman has a look, taken down well by Johnson Holmes. Gets up and goes again though.
Wow.
Well, the penalty goes against Warringah. Another quick tap from University. Here's Tolu Latu.
I've got to say, I don't think that tackle was completed.
That's a pretty tough call. I've got to say, Sherritt with the ball now. I think he had all rights to get up and go again. Anyway, Will McDonald battling forward for University. Like it comes to McDouling. He's been enormous for them this year, Dave McDouling. He really has been the backbone of this forward pack. Swinton hands off to McDonald. Back it comes to McDouling again. Oh, runners everywhere for Jake Gordon. He finds Stu Dunbar. Harry Johnson Holmes with the pick and go. Still going. He's lost it forward though. Priest has it now. Tom Priest gets it away to Dave Felchier, who tried to get it away quickly, unsuccessfully.
Second one.
Oh, that was a shame as well, because there was an opportunity on the far side of the field. 4 Rats attackers and only 1 Uni defender. But again, I don't know if we're going to get a chance to go back and look at it. I think Seb Wildman was hard done by to get told he was tackled in that situation just earlier in the play. There they are lining up. O'Connor, Wildman, Cheekham.
Let's go.
Yeah, I think you'll find Seb Wildman might have just had a hand on him. That's all it takes. A fingertip. And he was tackled, unfortunately. What an impressive game Champion de Crepney's had today.
Plenty of smiles on the University bench.
Crouch.
Nick Phipps is warming up as well.
Bind. Up again. No. That one's for a
Looks
reset.
like
Right, I'm here. Let's go.
big Will Cocker in jersey 20 for University.
Yeah, there's some handy replacements on both benches, isn't there? Uni at the moment. They've just got all the momentum. It starts at the set piece as well. This scrum, oh, it's pretty to watch.
Crouch. Bind. Set.
Oh, that time Warringah get the penalty. The quick tap. Here's Tangi Thakibau. Salosi Tangi Thakibau gets it out to Dave Felchier. Felchier breaks through one tackle, needs a runner inside, picks up McLean Jones. Who else is there for Warringah? Holmes gets rid of it quickly. Angus holds it up, then gives it to Sam Thompson. He needs help though. Good clean out by Tangi Thakibau. Here come the Rats, Seb Wildman. Still going, Seb Wildman. Still going, Wildman. Needed a runner, he threw the dummy, went himself. That's a brilliant individual try by Seb Wildman. And is that what the Rats need to spark a revival?
Well, it was brilliant stuff. They've come 95 metres down the other end of the field. Beautiful work down the left-hand side. This time the quick tap was the right option from Holmes. There was a huge amount of space. Tangi Thakibau does well. He gets it away. And then Felchier again with the speed to slice through. And at this point in back play, you can't see it, but the Rats are absolutely lining up on the right-hand side of the field. There was penalty advantage also being played. And as you said, Tony, Seb Wildman, ball in two hands. He shows, he goes, he scores. The Rats, they needed that one.
Hamish Angus's kick. Oh, it looked like it was just going to sneak over, but it didn't. 31-12 on the Charter Hall Direct scoreboard. Well, the defending premiers showing their fighting spirit.
Jake Gordon getting a standing ovation as he leaves the field. And another Wallaby, Nick Phipps, takes the field for Sydney University.
Sam Ward with the ball in hand for Warringah now. Oh, well met by O'Regan.
Tackle, play on.
What a great tackle by Rowan O'Regan. Angus gets it wide to Wildman. Here's Tangi Thaki-Bow. Runs over one defender. It's stopped by Stewie Dunbar. The quick recycle by Warringah. Looking to shift it wide. Wildman to Ward. Vailanu gets it wide. Beautiful ball through the hands to Priest. Oh, it's Rory O'Connor. Oh, he's thrown it to nobody.
I think the touch judge called for it, Tone.
James Quinn was going to run away and score in the left-hand corner.
Handy athlete, James Quinn, but don't think he's got a Rats jersey on today, unfortunately.
I think Rory O'Connor just didn't think he'd be the last man. It was lovely hands there from Harry Jones to get the ball to him. That's just a little bit of a brain explosion for poor Rory O'Connor.
Sam Thompson with an outstanding take-it line-out time for Warringah. Big Manny Meafau gets rid of it quickly to Hamish Angus. Takes it back into the teeth of the University defence. Here's Meafau again. Gets rid of it to Vailanu. The pick and go from O'Connor, but he's lost it forward. Phipps gets it back to Harry Johnson-Holmes. Gets absolutely belted late.
Are we talking a card or penalty only? Thank you.
Oh, it's been picked off by Wildman, but let's go back and have a look.
Tackle, no number.
And have a look at this late hit on Nick Phipps.
Manny Meafau. I think there's about 100 kilo weight difference here. Let's have another look at it.
No, we've got to come back a little bit further than that. It was the play before, or you could hear the groan, you could feel the hit.
He got straight back to his feet, though, to his credit, Nick Phipps. He probably knocked the wind out of him, but he's a tough hombre.
Oh, he's tough
as they come.
He's a very tough rooster. Phipps, a product of the King's School in Sydney's West. I was at school with his father, Peter Phipps.
Here it is.
Long-term teacher. Oh, that's a big shot. That's a big shot from me.
I think my rib just broke in the commentary box. Oh, that would have hurt.
Wow.
James Kane with another excellent touch finder.
Meafau didn't get the penalty, though. There's no number on his back. They couldn't get a number on it. Oh, yeah. Love that.
Ouch.
It's going to be sore tomorrow for Phipps.
Won't be if he's a champion, Tony.
It's true. Ball gets set for University. Tolu Latu with the ball at the back.
Great structure from Uni. This is going to keep going.
Out now.
Phipps wants it now. Dunbar with the kick. Hussein Clements with a terrific take. He's rounded up very quickly by Feltshire. McDonald did a great job shielding that pill. Oh, beautiful ball to Latu from Phipps. Oh, that was genius. Oh, what a pass from Nick Phipps. Oh, my goodness me. You will not see better, ladies and gentlemen. And Tolu Latu takes it with glee.
Well, that's why he's played 60 games for the Wallabies. Lovely little cross kick. Feltshire actually does brilliantly well to not only wrap Clements up, but bring him down so he's unable to offload the ball. Guy Porter so close to slipping through the tackle there from Wildman, and that's the pill. Unfortunately, not the angle that we needed, but Tolu Latu scores again in a grand final. He's got a knack of doing it, and you've got to say things are looking good for the students.
Yep, University going from strength to strength here in the grand final this year, and Nick Phipps showing his absolute class.
Well, we saw Gordon do it in the first half, that flat 20-metre ball, Swaney, that just cuts across players in motion. Right on the money for Tolu Latu running into space. What a beautiful view.
Oh, what a lovely strike from Kane. No problem with the conversion, 38-12. That's a massive lead in a grand final.
Straight down the middle. You said it, Shep. That ball from Phipps was fantastic, as Gordon did in the first half. And it was to that man, Tolu Latu, as well, who today has run some magnificent lines. And how good is that one? Straight into the gap. Try time, Latu.
Champion, beg your pardon, that was
First from Gold.
Porter
then
going
from
high.
White. Scrum.
Loses it forward first, so a scrum for the Rats just outside Uni's 22.
Well, we could have our champions in 2018 in the Intrust Super Shute Shield. Thank you, of course, to our major sponsor, Intrust Super, for everything they do for this great competition. If you haven't done it, visit Rugby.com. Check out all their incredible financial services.
Crouch. Bind. Set.
Oh, another big shove from University. They take the tight head. Phipps gets rid of it to Dunbar. Dunbar to Porter. Porter taken low, but gets the ball away well. There's the kick from James Kane. Kane herring after it. Felchie gets there first, though. Nothing else he can do except steady to touch, and James Kane gives him a little bit of lip to send him on his way.
Magnificent work on the left edge again from Porter, just to release Kane, and a really smart kick. Make sure to keep it in, so Felchie has to play it. He's got plenty of pace, so he's going to put the pressure on, and as a fullback, there's nothing you can do there. You just have to carry the ball over the sideline and wait another day.
The line out right in front of us at central commentary, though it's gone too long. Vailanu with the ball. But it looks like Dunbar was it, wrestled it away from him. That's a huge play by Stewie Dunbar. Oh, that's massive by the University 5'8".
19.
But then University gives away the penalty.
Number 19 holding the white player back off the ball.
Yeah, he was trying to hold back Manny Mearthau of all people.
One against
I think
Jack.
that's why Will Houston used trying, wasn't it?
that one against Jack Sheriff. Miles Dorian out there with the ball in hand. His last game for Warringah. He's been fantastic for them.
He was the hero last week in the semi-final against Northern Suburbs. Kicked the penalty goal.
Have a look at Stewie Dunbar there. He has dead set ripped that out of the hands of Mahe Vailanu.
Still having trouble at line-out time, the Rats.
All the way to the back. This time Tolu Latu gets Warringah's ball. Latu into the 22, still going. Finally Josh Holmes with the tackle, looking to release it quickly as Phipps. He's hit, that was Lockie Swindon, might have gone forward though. Nothing coming from Will Houston though. Will Cocker with the ball at the back. They settle into their pick and drive routine. Here's Jack Sherritt. Phipps to McDonald. McDonald to Kane. And James Kane crosses untouched in the left corner of North Sydney Oval. This University side is starting to really hit their stride, boys.
Yeah, it's a shame for the Rats. You can see all the life really just starting to pour out of them. They know this one's gone, sadly, but take nothing away from Sydney University. Not only have they been great on the fringes, but the way they've been able to regenerate momentum's been fantastic. That time, they regenerated, they moved it to an edge, catch and pass, and James Kane, he leads the competition in points scored in 2018. He's had a whale of a grand final. And now he's got a chance to put a little bit of icing on his own cake and add another 2 points to what an incredible 2018. It's definitely been, Swaney, a year for James Kane, where he's gone from being a young colt with a lot of potential to a full-blown first-grade sensation.
So much talent across the park in this Sydney University side, but none more so than James Kane. You said before, the full Johnny Wilkinson routine. Look at that, 6 from 6 today.
Was there ever any doubt?
University 45, Warringah 12 in the grand final for 2018.
Well, what about the hands from Sydney University today? We've spoken about how clinical they are. They've hardly made a mistake all day. And now the scoreboard is really showing it, isn't it? Bit of a carve up.
Dorian's restart taken by Porter. He elects to kick. Josh Holmes back there. He's well covered by the University defenders, though. They're up quickly. Dorian clears it to Sam Ward. Ward's knocked it on. Pick and go from Cocker, who loses it forward himself. So it'll be a University scrum on the 40-metre line.
What about how quickly Will Cocker dived on that mistake from Sam Ward? That just kind of sums up the game, Shep. They've just been quicker reaction time, more clinical, put it through the hands. It's just been an absolutely dominant performance from this Uni side.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Swaney, and I agree. They've just done the simple things really, really well. They've been clinical at scrum time. I know we've harped on it, but it really has been the foundation for their game. Their line-out's been great. They've won the collision, not only in attack and defence, and they really have just controlled every aspect of this game, especially just the little 1%ers.
Looking for that penalty again is O'Regan with the ball at the back. Up goes the arm.
Up, loose head.
Now they release it. Dunbar. Ball goes to deck, though.
Number 1 standing up under pressure. No knock on there, no advantage. Number 1 standing up under pressure.
It's going to be a day to forget for Rory O'Connor. Yeah. Sadly, he's been copping an onslaught on that side of the scrum. And it's hard to believe, but still 8 minutes left in this game. The second half must feel like it's been going for a year for the Warringah Rats. And really, I can't remember much time in this second half, Swaney and Tone, that we've really even called much play at the other end of the field. It has just been complete one-way traffic to the students.
You're right. Wyman scored his try down the other end, but that's about the only time that Warringah have managed to get into the Sydney University half this entire second half.
And again, I know I've mentioned it already, but I really feel the kicking game and the way they've been able to control that aspect of the game hasn't been good enough from Warringah this afternoon.
Quick line-out ball. Here's Swinton. Oh, he's belted by Bia foul. That's a big hit. Tolu Latu gets rid of it to Dunbar. Coming around the corner, the maul's been caught, has been stripped by McLean Jones. Or Baxter King, I beg your pardon. There's the kick from Josh Holmes.
Needs a chase.
Clements is back there for University. Plenty of time for Tim Clements to have a think about what he wants to do. Good defence, though, from the Rats. University needs to get that ball out of there. Phipps finally there. Decides to go the short side. Talakai with the ball in hand to Cocker now. Back it comes for Johnson Holmes. Heavy contact with McLean Jones. Swinton. So energetic for a big man. Stewie Dunbar has a little kick. It's been charged down by Dorian, though. Miles Dorian doing his best for the Rats out there. Still going. Clements comes away with it. Back it comes for Phipps. Phipps trying to float one out. And that one's come forward off Guy Porter.
It's starting to be bit of emotion, frustration from the Rats players. One man, we spoke about him in the pre-game, Swaney, that hasn't given up. Tom Priest giving absolutely everything right up until the final whistle.
Yeah, absolutely. He said it in his post-match interview last week that their side need to bring the animal, and he's one of them, that's for sure. A total animal, Tom Priest. In fact, that whole back row, Vailanu, Priest and Sam Waters, we just saw on your screen there.
Vaisila has taken the field for Warringah. He's in jersey 17. Sam Thompson with the line-out take, but that one wasn't straight, says Will Houston.
It's just the set piece, isn't it, boys? It's really torn Warringah to shreds, unfortunately. Their Achilles heel this afternoon. Another one.
Well, their line-out last week was superb. It functioned really, really well, but I think the pressure, as you say, Swaney, that University has brought to bear today, particularly in the scrum, has perhaps demoralised the Rats forwards just a little bit.
Yeah, no Luke Holmes, plenty of changes as well. Majority of the 8 now been substituted.
Crouch. Bind.
You don't want to be too negative about the Warringah Rats. They've been a fantastic team in 2018. Unfortunately, they've just come up against one of the best uni sides we've seen in a very long time.
Dunbar shows the dummy, goes himself. He's got plenty of speed, Stewie Dunbar. Little kick ahead.
Oh!
Well, Harry Potter almost got there, but some good speed from Harry Jones.
Oh, that just could have been something special.
Jones just running interference there.
Well, no idea where Miles Dorian was going there, but he completely overran it. The little dink out the outside of the foot, and Harry Potter scoops that up. That's one of the tries of the year.
Ilano's throw is taken cleanly by Sam Thompson. Short side they go. Oh, Josh Holmes with the dummy. Here's Harry Jones with the ball in hand. Well, he was our man of the match last year in the grand final. Scored 3 tries, I think, down that left edge, beg your pardon, 2. Back it comes for Dorian now. Here's Vailanu. Looking for width. Here's Tom Priest. Seb Wildman. Felchier now. Felchier to Davis. Did well to reach behind him and grab it. Tyson Davis. Been rounded up, though, by Guy Porter. He throws it back. Anybody's ball. Been towed through by Will McDonald. And it will just dribble into touch directly in front of the commentary tower here as the clock ticks inexorably towards the end of this one.
Well, that's where they've looked really good. This is back to the little half break there from Holmes. Gets it away from Harry Jones. He doesn't look comfortable on that foot. He's got severe bone bruising in his left foot, I believe it is. He shouldn't even be out on the field against doctor's orders. He's decided to play. And then this is where they've had a lot of success this afternoon on that right edge. But that time just looked a little bit tired for mine.
Well, University have just sucked the oxygen out of Warringah's game today, haven't they? I've done it to countless teams this year, but particularly this afternoon. But you can't fault the effort. Warringah, brave, that's for sure.
Dorian gets it to Wildman. There's Mia foul. Big man goes for a run. Needs somebody to go with him, though. Still going, Big Manny. Finally, he's brought down. It's a good 50-metre run from Manny Meafau. Back it comes for Priest. He wings it out to Thompson. Dorian now. Dorian with the kick. Tyson Davis herring down on it.
Number 2.
Yeah, tackling the halfback was the penalty at that breakdown from Manny Meafau.
So Lockie Swinton, who's been fiery all year, the young second rower. He had a problem with something that Dave Felchier did or said, but I know he'll be backing in that one.
Still plenty of emotion. He's got a haircut that you could set your watch to.
Well, Swaney, I've been telling him to get rid of those sideburns all year. He still hasn't done it.
Don Mattingly style, hey? Here's another look at it. Manny Meafau in open space. It's something to watch.
Oh, good speed from the big man.
It's like the boulder in Indiana Jones, the Temple of Doom. Just bowling down on the defence.
Oh, that's funny, your best.
Yeah, with 2 minutes gone, 2 minutes to go in a grand final, you know you're going to win. There was a lot of Sydney Uni players running the other way. Not getting hurt now, not missing the celebration. And if you're a Uni fan, pop the corks.
60 seconds to go. The Rats want to be the last ones to score here. Tom Priest. They're not going down without a fight. This brave Warringah Rats rugby club. McLean Jones
That's a tackle, move!
battling forward with the ball. Penalty to Warringah.
19 and 2.
There's the quick tap from Josh Holmes to Seb Wildman. Wildman looking for his second. He's dragged down about 3 metres out. Back it comes for Josh Holmes. He finds Mearfowl on the burst. And he's lost it forward. Well, University has perhaps the final word in this grand final. They force a mistake just as Manny Mearfowl was trying to reach forward to plant it down. As the siren goes in the background, referee Houston says that's enough. 45-12 is the score, and the Students have broken their 5-year drought to win the 2018 Intrust Super Shute Shield Championship, and they've done it in emphatic fashion over a brave defending premier, Warringah Rats Rugby Union Club, as the student supporters stream onto the field now to greet their heroes. But they absolutely dominated in pretty much every facet of the game today, particularly the set piece, Cameron Shepherd.
Yeah, very well-deserved premiership to Sydney University. They have worked so hard, not only on the field but off the field. As I said, the club was bitterly disappointed in 2017 not to even make the finals of the Shute Shield. This year, they right those wrongs. They were minor premiers, and now they are the 2018 Intrust Super Shute Shield champions. Congratulations, Sydney University.
Oh, that's a huge victory. They look so strong, so solid out there.
There you go, the Thank you.